love story.
Tonight we have here a very special couple, Miss Pauline and Mr. Neville from Edmonton. Good evening, Miss Pauline. Good evening, Mr. Neville.
Good
Thank you
evening,
very much
Pastor.
for joining us.
Welcome.
Ready to share your love story?
Yes, Pastor.
Good, good. For how long have you been married for?
Is it 12?
13 years this December coming.
This December, 13
Yeah.
years.
Yes.
Wow, that's a story. 1 decade.
Yes.
Okay, so Mrs. Pauline and Mr. Neville. We are here talking a little before, but we have prepared here, I believe you are familiar, we have some flash questions. So in these flash questions,
isn't it, Miss Pauline?
we need flash answers also, okay? So no explanations, huh? So just quick questions and quick answers. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, so who fell in love first? Come on, somebody.
She did.
She did, right?
He did,
It
Pastor.
did. Okay. Later we're gonna explain that. Okay.
All right. Who is more jealous?
He is.
Okay. Who's more romantic?
She.
She?
She's.
Okay.
Okay.
Who takes longer get ready to leave the house?
She. 3 hours.
Who eat more?
He does.
Okay.
Who drives better?
Me.
Oh, okay. And I saw humbleness as well.
All right.
From both sides, okay. Because he just accepted, but okay. Who's more funny?
I.
You are.
Who
Uh,
takes longer to shower?
I do.
Who is gets stressed easier?
I think we both do.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is more forgetful?
Like you forget dates, appointments.
Really?
Who's more clumsy?
He is.
It's typical. We meant something. This is about.
Who likes to sleep more?
He does.
Oh.
Who expenses more?
Me.
Who likes to go out more?
Not,
That's not your thing.
no,
So
not
both of
really.
you have a
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
We both
Okay.
like to be indoors.
yes, no problem.
And the last one, who is more organized?
I am.
I know that.
Yeah, I know.
I know
also.
that
You-
because we've
you
been
are.
in Edmonton for 1 year, and I know that
Yeah, you are.
you are very organized.
Very well.
Okay, both of you came from broken marriages, so you had this traumatic experience before, and you managed to, find to be together with this bad experience and make this work. So what is the secret? What did you do in order to make it work? So in regards to your love life, how was your love life before knowing the author of love?
Before coming to the church,
Yeah.
my love life was, I was married,
Mm-hmm.
but then I was married for nearly 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to come out of that marriage due to what had gone on in the marriage. I didn't just finish the marriage, I worked hard at it. And Bishop Renato was the one helping me, to counseling me,
So you really tried
really tried
to save the marriage.
to save the marriage. Bishop Renato, Miss Christiane, they really helped me do this, do that. And then I remember one day coming back to Bishop and I said, Bishop, this is it. And he supported me. But although he said, you know what the Bible says about marriage,
Yeah.
being divorced.
So because of that, of course, many things happened in this marriage, and unfortunately, it was ended up that way.
Yeah.
Okay. In regards to your love life, Mr. Neville, how was your love life?
What happens? I was married. I was living in Swindon
Mhm.
at that time, and something happens where what happens in the marriage, I believe, life was good because I have 2 kids and 1 girl and 1 boy, and I very love them much and everything. I want to give them the best of life. And we have everything good. Relationship was good, and we was building up our life to do many great things, like as a family. So I believe one day, one year, me and my ex-wife, we went to Jamaica and come back. And when we come back, something just changed. And the way I seen it changed, and I know say something was not right. And when I look into it, something was not right. So I understand like what was causing it was like jealousy and witchcraft, something like that has been done. I know it was something definitely, because we was not a person like to argue or whatever. Everything was fine. I know that at that time we didn't know God nor anything like that, but according to I know say it was just that causing marriage to break up. It was envy and jealousy and
also
and
witchcraft.
I know something has been done, and that's what caused it to end up.
Nobody gets married planning to divorce later on, right? And I know it's a bit sensitive, this question, but it will help, especially those who are now going through this. How was this moment for you when you said, oh, look, I tried, but it's impossible to stay the way we are here, then you had to leave that previous relationship? I know it's not pleasant to go back to this, but just for us to help those who are listening to this program now, because both of you had this experience here, and I know that, actually I don't know, but I assume that it's very traumatic, this experience. So how was that? How was it for you, for example, Mr. Neville?
It was very. I tell you what, if many times when it was happening, when things like that was happening, I know at my road, like this street where I used to live in, many times I used to say, "Oh my God, help me!" I used to just cry out because I know my parents then they was a Christian back in Jamaica, so we are believing God, and I was just crying out many times, especially my children. The pain is not really, it was the pain, especially for the kids. I really felt it, felt it really. It was pain, and about maybe about 3 years later, after that, I end up was driving. So for some reason, I see the adverts was in the Jamaican Gleaner, and I said, I believe that advert was just for me, because the church never used to put the adverts in the Jamaican Gleaner. They always put in the Vice, advertising the Vice. But for it to was in the Jamaican Gleaner, I believe that was for me. And about 2-3 months, about maybe 2-3 months, one Friday, I was going to go back to Jamaica. I was selling up everything, selling my house, everything, and pack up. I even shipped some stuff back to Jamaica, back home to live, to buy a house out there and to start business. And then, for some reason, I was waiting for something and it did not work out. And I said, if I did not get this thing done, I'm just going to go to London, to the church. And I just
by this time you were in Sweden?
Yeah, one day I just pick up myself.
And by this time there was no church there
No
yet.
church wasn't there. Because I remember, just a bit, not try to divert the situation. I remember one day Bishop Renata said, if you want a church to hook up in your place, just write, and I write a request and I put an offering. And about maybe about 5 years later, they opened up a church in Swindon.
So the frustration of divorce, you get a bit lost, as you said.
I was lost.
Walking on the streets, crying out for help. So that was the feeling, of being lost.
Yeah, it was totally lost. Because I did not even know what to do at that time because I didn't have any family in this country
Mm-hmm.
because
So the only family you had, it was your ex-wife.
yes, my ex-wife and my children. So
Yeah.
because she born in this country,
Yeah.
and I met her in Jamaica,
Mhm.
and she get me over here, and we start. Because what happens, the worst part of it, we start from scratch with nothing.
So you build a life
We
together.
build a life together up
And-
to such a standard till I end up lost everything.
Wow, it's really frustrating.
That, yeah.
Yeah, Mrs. Pauline, you said that when you divorced your first husband, it was when you were already in the church, the
Oh.
beginning of your faith, right?
Yeah, because 1 year after I got married,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I came to the church.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Due
all
to these marital problems.
yeah,
Mm.
so all that time I was fighting for my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I did campaign for my marriage, and nothing happened. So
How can a situation like that happen if only you is fighting for that, if the other side is not doing also
Yeah.
his part?
because it wasn't in the church, but I was doing my part.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I was doing, it's like the marriage was just drifting apart.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I was doing, it wasn't progressing. So in the end, I had to come and speak to the bishop about my marriage, what is going on. And he told me what to do. I'd done everything they told me to do. And, nothing happened. So in the end, I had to come back to him again and say, Bishop, this is not happening. It's not working. And then he stood by me. And that's when I start to...
You have to take an
I had to take an
attitude
action.
and-
It's
yeah.
either I stay there just for the sake of this marriage. It's not going nowhere. We like strangers. So it's either I live that life or get out of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because you when you came to the church, you were already leaving this problem. You fought, you tried.
You try.
yeah.
Change
You did
the
your part.
situation.
It was not something that you gave up straight away.
Oh
you,
no!
you fought
one
for it.
year after I got married, I came to the church. So all that years I've been fighting for my marriage.
Wow.
I've been fighting.
Now, after the divorce, I can imagine. What was your vision in regards to your love life? Because I can imagine, after divorce, and when you think, okay, am I really willing to go and restart all over again, knowing someone, dating? How was this idea?
For me, Pastor, when I divorced, I didn't want nothing to do with my love life. I wasn't interested.
At
And
all?
I was not interested at all. Because every relationship I'd gone in, I get hurt. Everyone. I was engaged, it didn't work out. I got married, it didn't work out. I went out with this one, it didn't work out. So I remember there was an assistant who talked to me because I said to her, I'm not interested in my love life. I don't want no one. I'm just going to stay by myself and serve God.
So you were one of those that gave up on your love life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the assistant said to me, no, Miss Pauline, no. This is what the devil wants you to think. This is what the devil wants you to believe that, So when she said that, it's like the penny drop. And then I start to think. And then I went and spoke to Bishop Renato. I said, Bishop Renato, can I get married again? And he said, of course you can. And then that's when I started fighting for my love life again. And that's when I really start fighting. I start coming to at the time it was Partner for Life. I start coming faithfully. I wouldn't break my chain of prayer, no matter what. I would just start coming, fighting for my love life. Every
And
You
Thursday.
change your mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, every
You start to
Thursday.
become free in your mind.
And
Yeah.
this is how a transformation starts to happen when we
Yeah.
start changing, by inside, from
Yeah.
inside out. That's the real transformation. People, they
Yeah.
think, I need to find someone, I need to find somebody to complete me, so I will be happy. This is not true, because
It's
you can
true.
find somebody anywhere.
And still not.
No, your transformation starts when you listen the assistant. The
Yes,
advice.
yes.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, it's true.
And how was for you, Assistant Neville? Because after this frustration, have ever this kind of thoughts crossed your mind? Oh, will I start all over again, knowing somebody? And how was that for you? Or you had the hope, the faith? Okay, let me. I will do it at the beginning.
Um, what happens? That wasn't come to my mind as yet about love, lifeline, anything like that. I remember the first week because I know I have to try to deliver myself first.
That's
Because
the
that,
point.
That not even crossed my mind
Mm-hmm.
because I remember when I was coming the first week that I come to the church,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a Friday, and I believe it was 1 week I just get baptized
Mm-hmm.
in 1 week,
Wow.
and something just come inside of me. I did not that time I was not heard about the Holy Spirit or anything like that. But for some reason, something just come inside of me. Seek the Holy Spirit, seek the Holy Spirit. So all was inside of me, because when I was living in Swindon, after my marriage, like breakup, about 4 or 5 of us in Swindon, we used to go out at night, to womanize and everything like that. So I just drop all of that, drop all my friends, everything. They used to say I was going crazy. I don't know them anymore. And I would just keep coming from London to Swindon. That would take me about maybe 3 hours or more, because sometimes I was driving. Sometimes I take the coach, and the coach take about 2-3 hours to get to Swindon. So it was a long journey. And even sometimes I used to when the evenings, I used to get over at nights, the last coach leave Victoria about 9:30 or something. So imagine, I used to get back late, and I used to just keep doing it.
So you've done all of these things just for you to be free, for you to taking care of yourself.
That's right.
Because that's the mistake, Karina, that many people they do after a frustrated experience in their love life. People, they think, you know what, I need to find somebody. And they can find someone, but they will put the responsibility in this someone, on this someone, to take care of them.
Yeah.
So look, now because I found you, you are responsible to heal me, to take care of me, and
Make very happy. It's your obligation.
It's your obligation. It's on you. And if I'm not happy, the problem is you. It's
your
never
fault.
me. So we have here 2 people that once you came to the church, and when you understood, when you had this encounter with the author of love, you understood that the first step for you to be happy again in your love life would be for being happy with yourself first.
True.
Healing, your heart from the wounds. Because I can imagine, how hurt, you were when you came, in regards to the divorce, the frustration, that sense of failure and everything. So it took a time for you to.
Yeah.
How long did it take from the day that you start, in your faith, to the day that you finally found your wife?
It took a very long time. About it could be. It's not something was happening overnight. It could be over maybe 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, it could be more than that, because I remember we used after about maybe 3 years after I start to come to the therapy of love, and was
So during this first 3 years,
yeah.
you were working in yourself.
it was.
And how was for you, Miss Pauline? How long did it take from the time that you let us consider the time you divorce and you have to go through this process of inner healing and everything, to the day that you found him?
Because I was coming to the therapy of love before in my marriage anyway, trying to work things out, learning for myself, changing myself to be a better wife. But after I got divorced, say around 6-7 years,
Wow.
I
It was
was
a preparation. Isn't it?
I was coming to the therapy of love seriously, working on myself.
And this is important because you can see that this time, for those who are listening to us, it sounds like, wow, but this is a long time, 7 years, 10 years.
Oh, it's too much.
It's too much. But look, it's just a matter of intelligence. They waited, 8 years, 10 years. but now they are living, a real love story. This is not an illusion. We're not paying them to come here and to say something nice about their lives or to lie about their reality.
Yeah, to pretend.
Of course, if today they are living this promise, and this is the purpose of God, happiness in love life. If today they are living that, is because they built and they made a good choice of start doing things properly.
Yeah, and I believe you have to forget the past. Like what happens, you cannot bring back the past because you have to heal from the past.
Yeah.
Because what happens, the reason why many people do not really bless in their love life, because they try to bring the past into the future, and they have to
Yeah,
try to
it's true.
forget it,
And
to heal
Bring
from
it
it.
to the new relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
keep remembering this, and they try to bring it, and it just cause confusion because you bring it to the next person, like you're going to, when you're going to try it. Because what happens, I believe God wants to everyone, like single people in the church, God provides somebody's there for them,
Yeah.
but they try to bring it into the past,
Yeah.
the bad thing in the past.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Because, for example, both of you just spoke about your past. It's not pleasant. But when you talk about your past, does it still hurt in you? How was that for you?
It just doesn't feel any it just
How was that for you? Do you feel like crying now? Oh, let's, Aaron, please get a tissue. Perhaps they will start crying here talking about their past. Okay, so let's jump to the best part now. So, I heard that everything began when you saw his testimony on TV. Is that correct?
Yes, Pastor.
So tell us please, tell them how was that?
I remember watching the
Finding answers.
Finding Answers with Bishop David.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was watching it, I saw him.
Mm-hmm.
But he looked big,
Really?
Yeah.
And as I said, because I was getting ready, going to work early in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
I just turned the TV off and I went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then a week after, I saw the same testimony, so I decided to watch. And when I was listening to his testimony, I said, wow, his testimony is exactly the same as mine.
Yeah.
The same thing I've gone through, he had gone through.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know each other, And so what I did, I phoned the church, and it was, now he's a bishop, but at the time it was Pastor James who answered my call.
So Bishop James at the time, he was there in the helpline, and
He was the one, because I remember ringing and he was the one answered the call. And I
Okay.
didn't think that someone was going to answer the phone, but I rang and it was he who picked up the
Yeah.
phone. And I explained to him and I told him, there's somebody on the TV that I saw I like.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he asked me if I come to the church from what branch I attend. And I said I attend Finsbury Park. And then he said, if I'm not mistaken, that he will talk to the pastor who was in charge of the love talk at the time. And he did. And the pastor came and talked to me as well. And then the pastor started to correspond with the pastor in Wood Green.
because you were in Wood Green at the time.
Yes.
Oh, Miss Paulina take the first step.
Can you see?
Okay, the
I
first
don't
step.
understand, Karina, why this talk comes from. People saying now, men, they have to take the initiative. Okay, ideally, well, yes, but not always. For example, if the things were different, if you were there on TV giving your testimony, probably you could watch her testimony and things could be different. But you were there, you were being exposed. That's
Yeah,
why I
it's
tell
true.
you, dear friends, night videos, testimonies, you have to be always there. You single people.
Take the opportunity.
Take the opportunities. So did your pastor encourage you? So come on, go, just talk to her. How was?
I believe at that time I was like trying to trying to speak to someone.
Okay.
Oh,
But-
I understand.
That time.
So the time you were already, interested in someone else.
Yeah, but nothing was like. Was
Well,
just
th-
trying
there
to.
was nothing wrong
was n-
because you were single at the time. So
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was single. It was nothing
No.
like both of us was serious.
No,
It was
yeah,
just try to
okay.
get to know her.
yeah, normal.
And
Mm-hmm.
it was was not. And then I believe one of Pastor Douglas speak to me, and then one day, and then I say it was the Holy Spirit. It was not him. And then that's when I start to take it a bit more serious.
So you gave in. Okay, so let me talk to her. Let us see
Yes.
how far it goes.
Yes.
And how was the first time you talked? When was it? Where was the first talk? Was here in Finsbury Park, then in Green, somewhere else?
What happened was, Pastor, I usually come Finsbury Park to the love therapy. And then as I was getting ready to come one Saturday, it's like the Holy Spirit said to me, go to Wood Green. And I'm there conversing with the Holy Spirit. No, I don't want to go to Wood Green. No. Because I know what was in Wood Green.
Yeah.
So I didn't
You
want
know
to
who
go.
was there.
Yes. And I said, I'll go next week. This is what I'm saying to the Holy Spirit. I will go next week. And the Holy Spirit said, no, you're going to go Wood Green. And then I go, okay, Holy Spirit, I will go Wood Green. So I got ready and I went straight to Wood Green. So as I was walking up the stairs, I didn't see him. I just saw somebody open the door for me. And when I looked up, it was him.
Oh.
Wow.
So it's the first time you saw him face to face.
First time.
First time.
Since
He was opening the door.
he opened the
A
door.
proper gentleman.
Yeah, he opened the door for me. And then I looked at him and I said, can I talk to you afterwards, please?
Whoa, wow.
It's Pauline.
Pauline is sniper.
No, I think after that,
Time.
I went to Wood Green to talk to his pastor.
Okay.
That was before I
Talked to him.
Yeah, I went to speak to his pastor,
And
it
you
was
did very well.
yeah. I went and spoke to the pastor. You know, pastor.
And later you came to speak to him.
Yes.
So the first talk was there in Wood Green.
First talk was Pastor Sydney, because he was the one taking the therapy of love in Wood Green. And I was there talking to him. And when I saw him, he was so tiny, so small. And I said, Pastor Sydney, he's quiet.
on
He's
TV.
quiet.
He's different
He's different.
But
from TV.
those who know Mr. Neville, they know that Mr. Neville is not quiet. When he start talking,
Yeah.
I remember I had long talks there in Edmonton.
Yeah. And the pastor said, "I know, Miss Pauline. He's quiet. You're bubbly. That's what balance of the relationship. Imagine the two of you was fire, or the
Yeah.
two of you was water.
Yeah.
So that really balance of the relationship, he was saying. So I said, okay then. So anyway, then I went back again the second time, and that's when I saw him. And because when I went the first time, I didn't speak to him. I didn't speak to him whatsoever.
Wow.
I just went there for the therapy of love, spoke to the pastor afterwards, and came home.
And the second time you came,
The second time I went back to Wood Green, and because by this time the pastor was giving me the
Okay.
the information, and then I remember saying, "No, I don't want the pastor to go in between. I want
Yeah.
to do it myself." So
that's why when he opened the door, said, I want to talk to you.
yeah. So when I said that,
Yeah.
and then the first place we went and talked, it was a restaurant. He took me to a Chinese restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Mr. Neville, how was the first talk? Because this is her perspective. Let me hear your perspective of this first talk.
Okay, I believe what happens when we just I just find us, we go to a restaurant and we just start to change, just to talk, and I believe in between, somewhere somehow we was the top talk, and then one another day me and I went to the park. I believe she cooked and went to the park, and then we start talk again. it was not like we would just jump. It was try to make sure it was the right, but
So because by this time you were doing the right thing. You were starting with the in the right way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
how long have you dated for?
If it was up to him, Would I
Okay.
get married straight away?
Oh, really?
Yes.
But can you see how things are different? Because you are the one who took
Oh
the
my
initiative.
goodness.
And once you took the initiative, you said, okay,
He
Let's
took
get
over.
married. Let's
Yeah,
get married.
yeah.
He did.
so
he
you
did-
took over after that, say.
He took over.
When you saw when you realized that she was leading, say, hey, hold on, let me
Yeah.
take the lead here.
Yeah. Okay. When I realized that at that time the confirmation was coming from straight from the throne of God. Yeah, I could see say it was coming from God Himself, because the way it happens.
This is important because you're not talking about, two young people that you are having the first experience. We're talking about people that you both of you didn't want to suffer again.
Yeah.
You didn't want to
Exactly.
go through
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Mature
pain
people.
again. People that they were already
Yeah.
mature.
Yeah.
People that already understood that there is no time to waste.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have to do it, let's do it properly. Let's do it,
Yeah.
in a way that will work indeed. Don't tell me that you allowed her to come to propose. How was that?
Oh no, he proposed,
He
not me.
Yeah.
No, yes, that's why, because you were the one that took the first step.
Yes.
But as you said that it was for him, you already was married from the first week.
Yeah, if it was up to him, he would marry straight away, because I remember he rang me, and he said he wants to marry me.
Wow.
So I said, when? Because we were talking we started talking say around the February, and around March he proposed that he wants to marry me. And I
March?
said, yeah,
About 3 months after.
Yeah,
3
yeah.
months.
yeah.
Wow.
And I said, when?
So after 3 months.
And I said, when do you want to get married? And he said, around June, July.
Oh, wow.
And I said, that's too quick. I said, that's too quick.
He was decided.
Yeah.
He made his mind up, and after said, no, it's too quick.
Yeah.
So we waited until December,
So it's not about feelings, it was not
No,
about emotion.
emotion,
It was certainty.
Certainty. And
Amen.
God just give the assurance.
So, how was this period for you? Did you feel the adaptation time? How was that for you? Those struggles in the beginning of the marriage, how was that?
The difference.
In the beginning, beginning of our marriage, it was hard because he been on his own for so long.
Yeah.
He was adapted to his way, and I was my way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he did things his way. So when we got into the marriage, it was like him alone. He didn't include me. It was just him. If he's deciding anything, he would say, I'm going to do this. So I said, what about me? He said, yeah, you too,
Wow.
And this is something we have to get used to.
Yeah.
You're not on your own. If he would make a cup of tea, he wouldn't ask me if I want a cup of tea. He would just make for himself and sit down and eat. And I said, so what about me? Because he's so used to doing things
Yeah.
on his own, as a single person. So he brought it into the marriage,
Which is kind of natural,
Yes.
especially after so
So
long.
long.
And so things were changing after that.
Yes. Step by step, when you start to
Yeah.
understand what happens, especially like the way I was growing up as well, just used to grow up, do everything myself. Because
But now you had
Wow.
to change.
but you have to change, so
Yeah.
we have to just try to reverse it and adapt, and these things start to fade away because
Now you had the advantage of knowing the intelligence of love.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Receive
Yes.
instructions and
Yeah.
the guidance that you never had before.
It's true.
So now you had this chance to do things right and doing that. So I have a question for you before we finish here, because we're talking about a couple that they're already mature, they are living a blessed love life, but I still seen you here, the law therapy. So what you doing here? Because if you're already blessed,
Yeah, it's
what
true,
is the
Miss
point?
Pauline.
You know, why?
Every week.
Let them know. Let them know.
Because I still have a lot to change about myself, and I want to continue to learn, to be a better wife, you know, to my husband.
Is she a good wife?
Yes, yes.
But she wants to be better. Can you see?
Yeah, she's an example.
An example.
Yeah.
Because there are people, Miss Pauline, they think, no, but you know, I already know how to do it.
I am married
Yeah.
for years.
And
I
people
don't
that
need
they
to go.
think like that,
You know,
they are hitting
it's true.
that cap, and that they are impeding themselves to evolve, to be better,
Yeah.
to improve. Because all of us, you know, regardless, you know, our background, regardless, you know, our experience, we always have room to, you know, for improvement, right?
Oh, definitely.
Mr. Neville and Miss Pauline, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm sure that
For
your
sure.
love story blessed many people tonight, especially those who already had this experience like you did, but now they can see, you know, through you
Yeah.
that there is hope. Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome,
Okay.
Pastor. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.